If you're looking at three-phase equipment or considering three-phase conversion equipment for your shop, this is the video for you. We're going to talk about the different types of conversion technologies, and we're going to explore Phase Technologies, Phase Perfect, all digital conversion technology. Let's get to it. Hey guys, Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. I'm joined by Sam Greer from Phase Technologies. Thank you, Sam, for coming out. It's always cool to have people come out and to introduce you to my audience and to just tackle these interesting problem domains. Today, we're talking about three-phase power conversion technologies. What it means for you as a shop owner is you can run just about anything based off of three-phase.
Absolutely, you can.
So you want three-phase in the shop. Some of the advantages, your motors are going to last longer. You can run higher power and output, higher horsepower, more even torques. We don't run into these surface finish issues and things like that. Wire gauges are going to be smaller. Again, the ability to run anything means I could find a Miller Synchro Wave three-phase welder, plug it right in, good to go. An industrial heater, compressors, big deal.
Yep, absolutely.
High startup loads. Three-phase is definitely the way to go. And then also, I bought equipment at auction. I bought equipment from Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist for pennies on the dollar because industrial shops, brand new, really high dollar stuff.
Yep.
Residential garages, no three-phase power, which means it opens up the market to you to go in there and get some really, really great deals. Now, downside, big downside. We got a quote here at this facility that we're renting, about $40,000 to get power from about, what would you say, 300 feet away, 200 feet away?
And that was a bargain.
Yeah, it can go up to $1 million plus
absolutely
if it's a mile or two or whatever that happens to be. So three-phase is really where you want to be if you want to run some really cool equipment. Now, phase converter types. Okay, so I'm at my shop where I run my business. I'm in my garage. I don't have three-phase. What am I going to do? Multiple options here.
Multiple options. The cheap option, static phase converter.
Mm-hmm.
Static phase converter passes your two hots through to your motor, and it uses a capacitor bank to make an artificial third phase for a few seconds just to get that motor started spinning, and then it pulls out, and that motor just spins on those two legs.
In best case, we're at 2/3 of our power because
best case,
one winding is just sitting there doing nothing. And we got uneven torque. We've got a lot more current going through those two windings to get the thing spun up, so that's going to wear and tear on the motor. So static phase converter, I don't know. These could be as little as $100 or something.
It's the cheap option. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, just a kind of a Band-Aid. And then there's rotary phase converters. So we actually had one up at the Mountain Shop that we just replaced. We'll talk about that more in this series. And rotary phase converters are simple. They're tested with time, tried and true kind of a thing. They're simple to hook up.
Yep.
Kind of the 3 wires in, 3 wires out, kind of more or less model. They do have some downsides. The manufactured leg is inconsistent.
Yep. Poor voltage balance on the manufactured leg.
Yep.
And efficiency. They're sitting there just
motors,
turning power into heat all the time.
Running all day long, and that's noise too.
Yep.
These units, especially with an outdoor enclosure, are heavier. They are larger, so you're talking maybe equipment to set them in place. I had to pour a concrete pad under mine at the shop, and we can still hear it running outside through multiple walls. So it's been an acceptable solution, but if I was starting from scratch again, definitely would look at other options. Okay, then we have VFDs or variable frequency drives. I've gotten a lot of comments from you all. Why don't you just slap a VFD on there?
Yep, and a VFD, where it's the right solution for an application, it absolutely is. It's the right solution for the application. But what that application is a single motor load without any other controls or safeties or anything like that that's integrated electrically.
20-inch disc sander. You got it at an auction for $50.
Yep.
And you want variable speed.
Yep.
Boom, done.
Slap a VFD on there.
Yeah.
Yep. But if you've got, a big industrial lathe with, coolant pumps and all these different
safety switches,
all this stuff.
Foot brake.
Either you have to completely isolate the spindle out of that to put a VFD on it, which is an electrical nightmare, or you can put it on a rotary or digital phase converter.
Yeah, exactly. And so then we come to what Phase Technologies is famous for.
Yes, our Phase Perfect.
Right. And so how does this technology work exactly? There's a box, three, single phase in,
we
three phase out.
sell white boxes. They're made out of metal.
Okay.
Yep. So fundamentally, they work very similarly to a VFD. They're an inverter. So a VFD has IGBTs inside, and the IGBT is effectively a big switch, and that's switched at high speed to manufacture the output power.
And the output from the phase perfect, hypothetically, the sine waves compared to ground would look similar to what you'd get off of the rotary phase converter, right? Where you're tricking the voltages between the different legs to all be perfect three-phase power,
Yes.
right? And in terms of the appliance or the motor, it doesn't really know the difference.
It doesn't really know the difference.
Yeah.
No, so, yes.
Okay, so advantages of phase perfect, I can think of a couple right off the get-go. The simplicity of the install,
Yep.
being able to feed multiple appliances and machines with one hookup,
Yep.
as if you had three-phase power coming into your shop. And then the size and weight thing is actually pretty significant. We installed a beefy, PT030 here and a PT010 up at the mountain shop, and we were able to, the 010 you can just walk like
Yep.
it's a briefcase, The 30 with two guys lifting it on the side of the wall, no equipment needed.
Yep.
We're not taking up any space on the ground, no space in the shop. And so just those logistical, less freight to get it to your door, right? Those were great advantages. But in terms of the power itself and the efficiency, what's the difference there?
Because our unit's all solid state, because we're not spinning a big idler motor to make that third phase, our units will typically, unloaded, waste a couple hundred watts.
Wow.
Whereas a rotary will waste thousands.
Yeah.
Right? They'll just turn that into heat. The big other difference is because our units are computer controlled, we can control that output voltage and keep the pass-through legs and our manufactured leg balanced. And we can keep them balanced to within 2% or better, which is typically better than the utility keeps them balanced. And
Yeah.
that power balance ultimately is really critical for performance of three-phase equipment and the longevity of that equipment.
So let's talk about the difference between enterprise and performance, right? These are the two most popular options in the
so
lineup.
we have two product lines in our Phase Perfect lineup, and the difference between them is actually really, really simple. They have effectively the same guts inside. They are manufactured to the same electrical specification. They'll do the exact same thing. The Enterprise is in a smaller panel that we can't install add-on options into.
Gotcha.
Whereas the Performance, same guts, but we have them in a bigger, more versatile panel, and we can do things like install an MCCB so that it can be, a service-rated disconnect, or strike-absorb surge protection or what have you. We are able to land additional electrical components inside that panel.
Gotcha. And the total capacity is different. We've got 7.5 to 20 horsepower for Enterprise, and with Performance, default option all the way to 175 horsepower.
175 horsepower, 480 volt.
Wow.
And the only reason we stopped there is because we haven't found anybody knocking down our door for a bigger one.
But if someone had a 200 horsepower motor?
Yeah, we could probably make it happen.
Okay, nice. Okay, so based on that, we spec'd out a couple options here. You can either go based on your capacity or your load, right?
Yep.
And so up at the mountain shop, we had a 20 horsepower rotary phase converter, which can run approximately 10 horsepower motor.
Yep.
And that seemed like a good direct swap out. In fact, we didn't really have to do any wiring other than just to pull it over from one device to another, which was great. So the PTE 010 was a great solution up there. Smaller, lightweight, easy to install, 10 horsepower rating.
Yep, 10 horsepower rating.
Same as what we had before, but better performance, which we'll talk about in the next video. Then down here, we took the opposite approach, which was kind of the available source amperage. And fortunate for us, we have two 200 amp panels here. We can pretty much power the entire shop off of one, the water heater, the lighting, all these other machines. But then we had a dedicated 200 amp panel, which was not energized.
Yep.
We got that turned on, put a 200 amp breaker in it, and that feeds the PT 030, which can handle a 30 horsepower motor.
Yep. Yeah. The 030 is capable of about 95 amps of three-phase output.
That is awesome. So if you have a dedicated 200 amp panel at your home or commercial shop, the PT 030 would be an outstanding option. Lots of flexibility there, a lot of room to grow with CNC equipment.
And we actually sell a ton of these PT 030s into shops just like this, where that's kind of the ceiling for them. It is a 200 amp panel.
Yeah, no, perfect. I absolutely love it. Okay, so that's kind of our general backgrounder. We're going to follow this up with a video that chronicles the kind of considerations, installation logistics, and a live demo of this system as we boot it up, which is really, really exciting. We'll also go up to the mountain shop and look at the PTE 010 and do a before and after performance comparison with that heavy chuck spool up comparison. And then we're going to have a ton of stories like you've seen here on the channel, where we're doing rifle builds and we're doing machining, and that's going to incorporate the Phase Perfect technology to power up the three-phase side of that equipment. Thank you very much, Sam.
Absolutely.
This has been a lot of fun. So, side note, we got a special deal for you all. If you mention Ultimate Reloader when you buy a Phase Perfect device, you can get a free additional year of warranty coverage, which you're definitely going to want. Why not, right?
Yep, why not? Yep.
So go to phasetechnologies.com, check out the products there. You can ask questions about your equipment. You can describe your situation and get the right device spec'd out for you. This is really good stuff. If you have specific feedback about what we've been discussing, the different types of converter technologies, the Phase Perfect solutions that I picked here, drop a comment and we'll start that discussion down in the comments section. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching Ultimate Reloader on TV and want to take advantage of free resources, exclusives, and hot deals, just hold your camera phone up to the QR code, tap on the link, fill out the information, boom, you're getting Ultimate Reloader emails. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.